production and pictures and everything taking place. We are on the Justin Jefferson weight plan. So if and/or when number 18 joins 9 to noon from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, you'll be able to hear it and watch it at Vikings.com. New general manager Nolan Teasley will join us 30 minutes from now for sure. But kind of as a buffer, here's News du Nord. Be right back.
Yeah, indeed. News du Nord at 11 a.m. is brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. For all event details, you're feeling the felt. It's poker, blackjack, and table games all year round. And live racing schedules, all of that, CanterburyPark.com. The Minnesota Twins not doing so hot, so we're just going to move on from that. Brett, last segment we were talking about Vegas and Carolina, and Game 4 is going to be mañana, 7 p.m., and you're going to get to hear these games right here on the Fan. But I did kind of want your perspective on the wonkiness, and PA was going down the road with Micheletti in terms of is this the best three games to start a Stanley Cup final in the history of the league, and people on NHL radio, et cetera, saying all that, and Micheletti doing his best to play historian. But in the end, I can't go that far without just going back in time and spending the time researching it. But into this series, just kind of thinking, okay, we have a Vegas squad that has ascended throughout the postseason. Carter Hart playing as well as he did in that Colorado series, with kind of just an unstoppable force in Carolina all the way through, to now seeing Vegas having the 2-1 lead through 3 now. What do you make of what you've seen from this Stanley Cup final thus far?
Well, certainly if you're looking from an entertainment standpoint, it's as good as it gets, right? Leads blown, double overtimes, dramatic finishes, and really just no way of knowing which team is going to come out on top. They're two evenly matched teams. To me, the thing they have in common is they both have elite top centers, and that's something that our club is currently in the hunt for with Lark. I mean, it's true. I mean, Jack Eichel is elite. William Karlsson is very good as well, and then you got Sebastian Aho on the other side. It's certainly a trend that if you want to get to this stage of the playoffs, you got to have a guy up the middle centering that top line. So you've got great center play, you've got great skill from Marner and Hurdle, and you've got great resilience from your Jordan Stahls and co to come back from a 4-goal deficit, 3 goals in 39 seconds. It's just from an entertainment standpoint, it's as good as it gets for me.
It would have been pretty devastating. I was thinking about it earlier in the series. You have that game where the Hurricanes take that 2-0 jump quick. May have been game 1, I think, with Ehlers getting 2 right out of the gates. And Vegas comes back and wins that game. Just kind of thinking how much of a deflating moment that had to have been for Carolina. They bounced back, handle business. But now, if Vegas loses that game the other night with the 4-0 lead, as you mentioned, and everybody just kind of on cruise control, how brutal would that have been in the 7-0-2 for Torts and company?
Had to be just devastating. I mean, they got out of jail too. And leave it to hockey. You say hockey's a funny game. Leave it to you blow a 4-goal lead in the span of what feels like a blink of an eye, and now all of a sudden the games, you've got double overtime, and the goal that goes in to win it for you is off the end boards, off the goaltender, and back into the net. I mean, hockey is just a funny game at times. That would have been heartbreaking. But again, it goes back to they're professional athletes, and you got to bounce back from that, but also they're human beings, and having that devastating of a loss where you're basically on cruise control waiting for what's for dinner later tonight, and now all of a sudden you've lost it after you're up 4 goals. So you're such a hardcore hockey fan that you can't talk about. I mean, everything relates back to the Wild. So you couldn't even offer at least 40 seconds maybe on the Stanley Cup final before you had to take a shot at your favorite team for not having the center depth that these two squads have. Do you think nationally the fact that this is Vegas and Carolina, that it's not the Avalanche, that it's not one of the original 6, that it isn't even, I mean, the Panthers if they were in the mix, trying to chase a three-peat or something like that. Do you think nationally, all fodder aside about how good these games have been, you think nationally they're paying attention to this and sinking their teeth into it, given the matchup? Yeah, I mean, you would like to see maybe McDavid be in the Cup finals for the Cup final for
he's just
the third
lose.
straight time. He's just going to lose, yeah. But people love stars, and I don't know if this is the series that Gary Bettman had envisioned when he came up with this very stupid playoff format, but that's what you get. But it's still, from an entertainment perspective, like I said, it's as good as it can possibly be. 3 one-goal games, all with their very own storylines and drama involved. So do I think it hurts the national casual, maybe checks in once in a while to watch a little bit of hockey? Yeah, maybe. But the hardcores are getting fed, and they're getting fed good. Fed well.
Yeah, game two tomorrow night. Puck drop shortly after 7 p.m. I've been given the stop sign, the break sign, so I'm hoping that means a certain special guest is around the corner. I do want to mention, though, game 3 tonight, not going the way that I had seen it. The NBA Finals, Wemby just kind of in awe of Wembanyama and the young crew. But game 3, it's Knicks hosting the Spurs. 1.5-point favorites are the Knickerbockers, and looking forward to that one. Knicks with a chance at MSG to put a 3-0 lead on those Spurs and effectively find their way just one game closer to an NBA title would be cool for Cat. We're going to pause. That's News du Nord, brought to you by the Casino at Canterbury Park. When we return, more 9 to noon. PA back in the mist. Hopefully a special guest as well. It's 9 to noon on the Fan.
Down, McCarthy, shotgun, back to pass, sidearms over the middle to Jefferson, caught at the 45, turns it up to the 50, in Giants territory to the 46, close to the first down. He barely missed it, but he has run himself into the history books with that reception. Justin Jefferson has the most receptions of any player in the history of the NFL through their first 6 seasons. He just passed Jarvis Landry.
That guy, Justin Jefferson, joins us now on FM 100.3, KFAN, and I believe also Vikings.com. With Nordo, I'm Paul Allen, and good to see you.
Good to see you as well, my
Things
guy.
okay?
Everything is great.
Good.
Just another day.
Yeah, well, this seems to be, correct me if I'm wrong here, Justin, into your 7th year. This is a really good time for players right now. I mean, it's you tear it up this week at minicamp, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then boom, no football for a month and change up to training camp. Yeah. Isn't this a great time to be a player?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a good time and a bad time as well, just because, if you don't really have your priorities, in order, you don't have, that main goal that you want to reach, this month and a half, it can, backfire on you, if you don't really, continue to put in that work, continue to, grind and continue to, make sure your body is, in order to withhold the season. And, so it's just all about just continue to go on to work and, continue to, meet up with the guys and, to continue the connection that we have been building, for the past couple of weeks in OTAs. So, it's a good time off, but, it's still work to be done.
Are you always in shape? And like if you got the right call in February or March, and I don't know, something in the middle of the table, and we're going to compete for it.
Yeah.
Are you always in shape? Like if you got that call in February or March, and you had to compete at a super high level, could you do it?
If I knew I was getting that call, yeah, I mean, obviously during that time, in late January, February, it's kind of relaxation, time a little bit. It's always time for kind of get away from football a little bit, get away from the world, get away from fans, everything, and kind of just have that, just that moment with your friends, family, whatever that kind of allows you to, escape, so, maybe during that time, I might not be in the best shape, but, if they give me a call probably a month later, or especially right now, I'm good to go.
So with right now, when the 4th of July hits, all right, so three mandatory minicamps this week, then get away for a little while, and then with training camp, it's every single day, then games, stuff like that. When the 4th of July hits, is it like, boom, you got to get your eye, kind of low key, but you got to get your eye on what's coming with training camp and the season. 4th of July, is that the day?
Yeah, that's a good mark for sure. That's about the day kind of everybody kind of locks in a little bit more. Obviously, some people celebrate, the 4th of July. So, that day is kind of like the last day, of celebration or that time of off season, So that's when it really hits, and really it's time to really work out for real, and get in that really top tier season shape in order to go into training camp. Because if you don't come into training camp in at least a good shape, it's going to be a long training camp for you. So it's definitely that time to kind of lock in and really focus on the big picture.
Help me with this, and I'm in no way asking you to tout, okay? But odds makers have you guys at 8.5 wins for the season wins total.
They ain't no surprise.
Well, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, and I'm not being Barney the Purple Dinosaur here, like Super Homer announcer guy. It's you won 9 last year, and we consistently had a hard time the whole year getting the best player on the team the ball.
Yeah, right.
And still found a way to win 9. I mean, like, how do you read into that 8.5? I mean, it's, again, I'm not asking you to tout saying, oh, we're going to win 13, but you know what I'm saying here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't really, get into, all of the different comments and all of the different opinions on what people think the season is going to go. Just because at the end of the day, it's opinions and it's guests. And they don't really know what's in store for the season. They don't really know our team. They don't know the different guys that we've added on this team to help us out throughout the season. So it's not really getting into what he say, she say about how our season is going to go. And at the end of the day, it's about us, and it's about how we take it and how we take on the process of winning each game. So it's not really about what they say. It's about, the work that we put in and just building that relationship with each other, just so on the field it's night and day.
All right, Justin. So what you mentioned the word hope. What gives you hope this upcoming season not only will be better than last season, but maybe a lot better?
I just have hope in the guys that we have on this team. Just looking at the different guys that we have, looking at the guys that, we've had, passed on this team, and seeing, the different joy and the different work that we've been putting in, this OTAs for everybody to be here, and everybody's locked into the main goal, which is getting better each day, and just trying to get something out of the practices, out of the workouts, out of the use of the training room, just all of the different stuff that is available to us, and being able to kind of have that team camaraderie and be together as a team. And these OTAs, when it's voluntary, that's just a step towards, where we want to go. And it's just kind of great to see everybody here, and great to see everybody just locked in and seeing the work that we've really been putting in is really special. And I really want to wake up people this year, and especially hearing, they got us at 8 wins. 8.5 wins. That's already more motivation that's on the table from last year.
It got you.
For sure.
Chip on the shoulder for after the 4th of July. Think about it a little bit.
For sure. That's extra motivation. And that's something that we always need. Is always, the doubts are always great to have, just because no one is expecting you to be great. And so when you come out and be great, and no one is expecting you to, that's when it hit the best.
Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, on the 9 to noon show, and you're home for Vikings football, KFAN. Justin is 9 receptions from second in team history.
Really?
Not 9 from second. Now we got a little work to do to catch Chris.
For sure.
we're 9 from passing Randy Moss.
Dang.
And I know the respect you have for HOF. You're 26, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
about to be 27.
Okay, about to be 27 years of age. So, like, what do you know about how good Randy was? Because, I mean, like, he comes into the league in 98, then, he has his career and everything, but, down Louisiana way, you were little Justin Jefferson.
Sure.
Might have been watching the games, but maybe not knowing what you were seeing. But, like, how did you know, or what do you know about Randy that made him Hall of Fame great? Because it's like in 2020, 2021, it's like when you started cracking these Randy Moss records, year after year after year, then Torrey Holt and Jarvis Landry and all that kind of stuff, we knew we were onto something here. This is big moving into second. What do you know about Randy?
I know a lot about Randy, and luckily, I grew up in the age of technology. So, being able to have YouTube and watch different videos of his past games and being a fan and seeing his explosion, seeing the different highlight plays that he was making. It was hard not to watch him and hard not to see the spectacular plays that he was making. So it was just really cool to just be a fan of him, being drafted to the same team, and competing with him this whole entire time I've been in the league. So it's really just been a dream, always having those dreams of being a superstar and being top in the league and being one of the greatest of all time, but actually, doing it is another thing. Actually, being in those conversations and actually being next to these people and having those conversations, it's really unbelievable, and it's really, words that can't really describe the feeling of actually,
joining in that conversation.
Exactly. So it's really just, fire experience, and it just really goes to the amount of work that I put in my whole entire life of reaching this moment.
And I know you've met him several times.
Yeah.
Like when you and Randy, meet each other early in the equation, respect, hug, but like, what does he say to you? Like if he offers you, because I think he was taller than you, maybe a little bigger.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you run down the field and put your hand up and wave like, come on. So it's, the traits are there, but they're not exactly the same.
Yeah.
What does he say to you about becoming the best?
Randy doesn't talk much, but when he does talk, he talk real. And that's one thing that I can say about him, that he doesn't really care about the cameras. He doesn't really care about, having that exposure or, being notarized of helping me or giving me advice. He's more into, just, giving me that information and letting me just run with it however I run with it. So it's really just great to have those type of people, in my circle, and, being able to have those conversations with him, and having, Chris Carter, around even more, it's really just cool to have, Hall of Fame presence, around you. It's really special, and, to have that my whole entire career, in the NFL is, very, very great to have those, right by my side.
Here's another one. Your 14 touchdowns from passing Adam Thielen for third most in the history of the team.
Wow.
Now, you recently saw Adam, because I was there as the MC at the Unreal softball game. When you guys are so competitive at everything.
Yeah.
When you were the pitcher in that slow pitch softball game, you were trying to throw curves. You were trying to bust your elbow out and throw curves.
For sure.
Are you just having fun, or did you actually think it was going to curve?
It's fun when you're winning, but when you're losing, you got to play catch up, and it gets a little bit competitive, and that's kind of my whole entire life. I having two older brothers, having, a dad that was into sports, they were always, on me and always, being competitive and not letting me win easily. So it's just always been a natural thing, for me to always compete, especially in sports. And I don't like to lose. So, anytime I get a chance to, get the upper hand or, get to talk trash or, get a dub, I'm always into it.
Holy cow. A couple of quickies here for Justin Jefferson. You need at least 1,008 receiving yards this year to catch Torrey Holt, to have the most by anybody through 7 seasons. You'll get that easily this year, right? You should be able to get that easily this year, right?
I hope so.
What do we have here?
Pops,
hey,
my brother.
How you doing? Good to see you again. Great. Here, step behind him real quick. Get on the camera real quick so people can see how handsome the Jefferson group is. There it is, right there. Love that shirt. It's beautiful. Thank you for stopping by. You should 1,008. You should be able to get that easily, right?
That's the plan. Obviously, connecting with the guys, and seeing who's going to have that starting role.
Yeah.
That's going to be
got competition right now, right?
For sure.
Does Kyler throw a good ball? You've caught it enough to know he throws. What do you like about his passing?
He's really in this. I mean, I would say he understands the game. He understands the defenses. He understands just how to put touch on the ball, just enough to where it gets to where it got to go without making it difficult for us. So he understands the game a lot more just because he's been in the game for a couple years now. So he kind of throws the ball before you even get out that break. And,
that's good.
Yeah, for
sure.
So
he throws you open.
For sure.
Well, we can use that.
For sure.
2008.
Yeah. So he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy, and he's a competitor, just like me. So I'm looking forward to see how good he do in training camp. I'm looking forward to JJ seeing his improvements and seeing the different things that he has picked up over the all season. But I'm excited for the competition. You know, I'm excited for that to go on in training camp and see the different plays that they make.
Have you seen enough of Kyler yet, or has he run enough yet for you to determine who's faster at 100, Justin Jefferson or Kyler Murray?
I haven't seen him run that much yet. Not yet. Once we get in game time, I'm gonna really make that decision. But he's fast for sure. He's quick. He's definitely able to make different moves and be able to extend the play a lot more, especially in the backfield with the big linemen. So I'm looking forward to see that as well up close in person. I've always been a fan of him in Arizona, but seeing him up close in person, it hits a little bit different.
Last one or two. Jawan Jennings. I'm really glad you guys signed Jawan Jennings because, they made the move for Kyler. Yeah. And then there was an opening there, and I'm like, well, you got to go get Jawan Jennings. I don't know what he's asking for, and he just had 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's just an overall, he's a dog. I mean, he's just a tough guy. And your work in the run blocking and focusing on that last year, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the best year you ever had, paying attention to that side of it and and giving the extra effort and just knowing that this is important this year. I might want to catch 15 a game, but this is important. Yeah. Well, it's important again, and Jennings is good at it, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's a great pickup. Seeing the different plays that he was making in the pass game and the run game in San Francisco, that pickup was big for us. Obviously losing Jalen Naylor and, having that spot open for, a third receiver. And, of course, Ty coming along and Jug, right? Jug coming along.
Well, watching Dante Fleming at the Unreal softball game, if I'm a member of the Minnesota Twins, I sign him.
Yeah, he got some wheels
too.
He
can play baseball too.
Yeah, yes, he can. He got a good arm.
Holy cow!
But I mean, we got athletes all over the field. So that pickup was big for us. He's a big body receiver, being able to match up against smaller corners. So it kind of allows our offense to kind of be spread. So it kind of you can go wherever with the ball and be able to really create some big plays.
All right, lastly, Jawan passing. Okay, he's 2 of 2 lifetime, and he's thrown 2 touchdowns.
I didn't know that.
Including one in the Super Bowl.
I didn't know that.
I think they just beat Philadelphia in the playoffs. He threw one in that game, too, and completed it for a touchdown.
Uh-oh.
He hit McCaffrey. They stole a play from you guys. Remember that Monday night game?
Yeah.
Did you throw to Addison, or Addison threw to somebody, and you beat him when you beat him here? All the way other side of the field. Well, the Niners stole that play. They just used it to the other side of the field with McCaffrey.
I think I remember. And that was me throwing it to
was it Ty?
Aaron Jones.
Okay. Well, the Niners stole that play, scored a touchdown on it in the Super Bowl. So Jennings is 2 for 2 passing with 2 touchdowns. Johnny Hecker, the punter.
Yeah, he got some completions.
15 of 26, 193, a touchdown, and an interception. You kidding me?
I heard about him.
He's thrown 26 times. Justin, 5 of 8, 91 yards. They didn't let him throw last year. Who's going to throw more passes and why? Jawan, Justin, or the punter?
Paul, you giving our secrets out, man. You can't give them our secrets. We got some tricks up our sleeve for sure. But
if Jawan,
I don't know. That's a good stat line. I don't know who's going to be throwing the passes this year. But
if Jawan throws, it better be to you.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Or you to him.
Right. It's something gonna happen. I'm telling you now. We're gonna have a trick play.
Sweet.
And we're gonna remember this conversation when it happens.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Paul.
Seeing your father and brother too. Justin Jefferson, 9 to noon. He's also here not only for the production day, but big flag football day today for the girls. Girls flag football with the championship tonight. Are you going to say hi to them or maybe wish them good luck?
I'm going to talk to them, give them a little motivational speech maybe. But, I mean, just the support alone is big time. And being able to be, hands-on and be able to, just talk to them for a little bit and give them some little motivation.
That's sweet.
It goes a long way. So just trying to expand this game as big as possible, especially coming along with the Olympics in 2028. Flag football is the next big thing. So we're just trying to, build this game as much as we can.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, my guy.
Justin Jefferson, 9 to noon, back with new general manager Nolan Teasley after this.
Let's go
right now.
Live from the TCO Performance Center in Eagan. This is Paul Allen.
Do you want to be at the next big game or concert where we're giving away tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival, Jack White, Guns N' Roses, Chris Stapleton, and plenty more? Enter today, KFAN.com, keyword contest, KFAN.com, keyword contest.
All righty now, awaiting the arrival of Minnesota Vikings general manager Nolan Teasley. Nolan Teasley is the new general manager and purportedly will join 9 to noon before we are done with the radio show, which is coming up here in about 16, 17, 18 minutes. Nordo, yours truly, Paul Allen. Minnesota Vikings practice facility, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center in Eagan. On a day, the NBA Finals continues. No NBA Finals last night, which was weird. That
was a miss right there, schedule-wise.
I just couldn't believe it. So I thought Sunday, I'm not trying to be Joe Q. Nielsen rating guy here, but I always thought Sunday night was like a primo spot for a network to carry something. I put it on KARE 11 to start, and it was Giants-Cubs baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, we don't, and NBC, per usual, does elite work with all sports, including baseball. They did a really good job of that game last night. But maybe Madison Square, maybe your guy, you have two favorite bands, Post Malone and Hanson.
Yeah, correct.
I think Hanson was opening for Post Malone, maybe in Madison Square Garden, and they couldn't get it last night.
No, that's probably what it was. Now, there is a benefit to this for Wemby and company, as they get an extra day to think about how the heck they're going to handle this tonight. And what we've seen through two games, I'm kind of, maybe I shouldn't be blown away. And, how close or how far away the Wolves were from being competitive and even potentially winning that series to what Wemby and company did to the defending champs. Mm-hmm. And I never thought it was going to be a steamroll, but I didn't think that the Knicks could potentially limit them the way that they have over the course of these first two. We knew Brunson would be fantastic. Cat, his ascension's been brilliant. You've really leaned on, and you've leaned on OG Anunoby and his defense. I've leaned on Josh Hart and his defense. Mm-hmm. How much that has mattered to the Castles and the Vassels and the Harpers of this equation, where so many struggles that they've had just doing things they thrived in on the Western Conference side of the bracket. Yeah. And now a chance with everybody, the Edie Falcos and the Spike Lees of the world and the Fat Joes in the third row. The fact that they have a chance to go up 3-0 in MSG this evening. If that happens, statistically, you say that series is about over. Mm-hmm. And Karl Anthony Towns is going to be an NBA champion. This Knicks squad is just so perfectly balanced on both sides of the court. It's been fun, but surprising to me.
I think the San Antonio Spurs are recognizing what it's like to play a good team with its full complement. So, in other words, you catch the Wolves, you got Ant going 75%.
Yeah.
You got No DiVincenzo, who's kind of the heart and soul and lifeblood, as we learned, for like all the energy and perimeter defense and stuff.
He's a dog.
Ayo Dosunmu was, he was in and out during the previous series, so he probably wasn't 100%. Then you catch OKC, and they're down Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
So they're down their second best player. And then AJ Mitchell got hurt during the series. He's a key contributor.
Maybe a hammy.
Yep, key contributor for them. So,
but in the end, the depth of OKC was supposed to be an answer to that. And there's something there's something instructive maybe about that series moving forward that they have to answer. The rhythm of the Carusos and some of these guys that Cason Wallace, some of these guys that when OKC's already up 10 and SGA's doing his thing, Caruso will go for 30. But when you need Caruso to be the guy in a big spot because you're down 7, and my goodness, Wemby can't miss, and so-and-so's in foul trouble, that creates a different story to the ending. And I think, they have, they're going to walk in and instantly be among the favorites next year. But I think they're pondering some things, the way that we pondered how to beat Jokic. They're pondering, how do we attack Wemby and still not leave ourselves vulnerable to some of these young guards they have? But that series was unbelievable. This one's been cool. But, what I will say, despite the 0-2 deficit, it's not like the Knicks have run away with this thing. Right. There have been runs within games. Yep. Each game has required Brunson, in particular, in the fourth quarter, to be magical. If they leave it close, I just assume Wemby and company know that they're not out of this thing yet.
I think they're, these coaches and players obviously know so much more about it than me and us. But from watching all the games, the best way to slow Jalen Brunson is to make him play defense early in the games. All right, because Jalen gets tired, and therefore
he'll get in foul trouble too.
Might get in foul trouble too. So I felt in game 2 they didn't do well enough against Brunson, and then he was full of fire in the fourth quarter. But what the Spurs age, so to speak, lack of experience or maturity, has really reared its head in this series. Like Stephon Castle, he'll freak out over things he didn't freak out over in the previous 2 series.
Yeah.
It's starting to look like the Spurs need this race to be able to win the next race, like the Kentucky Derby of championships in the NBA. They need this race to be better for championships to come. I don't exactly, Karl Anthony Towns' two-way game has been as good as we've ever seen. But see, it's not like they're putting Wemby one-on-one. It's not like they're going one-on-one with Victor Wembanyama all the time. They're mixing things up so beautifully that they have one of the smartest players in the league, because he's a scholar of the game. You can tell already. Chris Finch said it last week. They have him thinking, where's this coming from?
Right.
And where's this new little guy coming from to slap at my arm and stuff like that? Because I don't think his offense has been overly dynamic in this series, and it has to do with the defense being played against him, but more importantly, the deception of what he thinks is coming and is not necessarily always there.
And so I agree with you. I also think that what we're seeing from Wemby, it's not necessarily that the Knicks have found some sort of magic formula to defending him. I do believe that this is a product of Champagnie, who comes out of the gates hitting 5 threes in the first. I think he finished 5 of 10 in the game, and not getting the supporting cast work. So it's not just needing the race as a group, but maybe it's even Wemby needing this race to say, okay, this is what it feels like when a mountain is on my shoulders. Mm-hmm. How do I adjust to that mentally? And, in our series, we talked about it early on, and we just didn't force it enough. That's why we lost.
Yeah.
Is when you did frustrate Wemby, when you had Naz Reid pounding into him and being physical in the paint and then just flustering him on the other end, what'd he do? He started shooting threes.
Yeah.
And he wasn't hitting them.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't make that a thing enough in the series to keep ourselves in it. I think that you can frustrate the young cat where everything can come easy. Wemby he can go out tonight and drop 40, 30, 40, 20, and 10 on these guys with those blocks and everything. But how he handles himself mentally with the lack of the supporting cast at times, this could certainly be something that he learns from into years to come, which is very freaking worrisome.
The single biggest thing that has impressed me with Karl Anthony Towns through these 2 games of the NBA Finals, and through certain facets of the Eastern Conference Final. What is this? How you doing, bud? His poise, right here's good. His poise and his calm.
Yeah.
Like when he thinks there's a foul and stuff, like we're not yelling like, wow. He stayed in control, and that really makes a big difference. Hi, Nolan. Paul Allen.
Paul Allen.
Yep, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
The
you.
other Paul Allen.
Yeah, that's right.
Multiple ways to look at it. Not as much money as the other one had. Still alive, but nevertheless, nice to meet you, man. This is Nolan Teasley, new general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. Those of you listening at KFAN, congratulations on the job. And when they called and you learned you had proven victorious going for this job because it was a competition, how did you react?
No, it's the immediate. There's a lot of emotion in that moment because it's something that you've been kind of working toward. Maybe not directly, but there was an aspiration there, and so a lot of gratitude. Just humbled and then excited to get going and just get to work.
What about your wife and sons? You have 4 sons?
4 boys.
Yeah, 4 boys. What about your family? I mean, because it's you had been in the state of Washington, and maybe they had too, forever. Now all of a sudden we're going to the cornfields. Like how was your wife and your kids? How they handle
I'm from Eastern Washington, so this is very comfortable. And then the fact that there's some semblance of water out here, there's some familiarity in that sense.
Got 10,000 of them. They tell us.
Yeah, but at the end of it, no, everybody was excited.
Good.
Everybody was. My 8-year-old Jax, he's a football fanatic, so he was right away. He wanted a Justin Jefferson jersey pretty quickly.
Right.
But no, my wife has always been really supportive, and everybody was, ready to get moving.
Well, what do you think of your division? What do you think of the NFC North? I mean, because you come from a meat grinder of a division, bottom feeder there. I'm not going to mention the team, but like the team that runs last there, probably a little different than the team that finishes last in this division. This is a tough division, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very tough division. I believe everybody had a winning record last year.
Right.
So, it's always division first to a certain extent, and we're going to be cognizant of who we're playing, twice a year, and that's going to impact your build somewhat. But, yeah, you're walking right into the NFC West had 3 teams make the playoffs last year. It was 2 here, but, again, everybody had a winning record. So we know the challenge ahead, and we're going to be prepared for it.
You fist bump here on this one. You got out of the division right as Myles Garrett came into it. I mean, that's not saying you couldn't beat the Rams with Myles Garrett, but holy cow. I mean, I don't know if you saw that deal coming or not because it was kept under wraps pretty well, but wow, what a big move, right?
Yeah, big move. Obviously a great player, but to be honest with you, like Jared Verse, a pretty good player too.
Yeah, you're right.
Young, ascending, under organizational control, all those things. So, yeah, he's no slouch himself.
What, as general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, just paint with a broad brush, Nolan, what do you like about your team?
I like a lot of things about this team. I think I touched on the coaching staff first and foremost, led by, Coach O'Connell. That was a huge draw. The offensive line, excited about that. The direction of the run game, really deep competitive quarterback room, really deep competitive wide receiver room. And then I think you have the ability to, you have players that have the ability to make impact plays at every level of the defense as well. So there's a lot to like.
With head coach Kevin O'Connell, what has impressed you with him from afar? And then maybe it's become amplified, Nolan, now that you've worked closely with him for a week.
Yeah, I think from afar, the football was obvious, that he's obviously a dynamic play caller, just that. And then as you work with him more closely, it's, the leadership ability becomes more obvious. I think I called him an elevator. He is just that. And then the capacity, like high-level thinker, big picture thinker, and the capacity to take in a lot of information and apply it in real time.
When you were with Seattle, and how did you look at defensive tackle Caleb Banks up to the draft, and what have you learned about him since you've been here?
Yeah, talented. Not a lot of people on the planet walking around that look like him and have the athletic ability that he has. Brief exposure with him in the cafeteria. Honestly, so what does it mean right now? What I've been really impressed with is our medical team and our performance team led by Tyler Williams, like their plan for him and putting it into action. So I'm really excited about the direction that we're headed with him as well.
So this is Nolan Teasley, new general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. Couple of quickies to close here. Thank you very much for joining us, too.
Thanks for having me.
So you won a Super Bowl with the Seahawks your first year as an intern with the team. Are you kidding me?
Walked through the door and won a Super Bowl. How about that?
Do interns get rings?
I have, so I have one ring, and then I have one coming my way here.
I understand that. So interns get rings.
In Seattle, they do.
That's fantastic. How did winning a Super Bowl feel to you then? I mean, you're wide-eyed. You know, I wanted to do this forever, just left a different career. Here I am. And you win a Super Bowl. How did it feel then, Nolan, compared to 4 months ago when Seattle beat New England?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of surreal walking into it. And then you're along for the ride, and you feel really blessed to be there. This second time, because we'd gone through different iterations and of our build and kind of getting over the top, and then you look around everybody that you went on that journey with, and you realize I wanted to win that or be part of that victory because for John Schneider, for Mike McDonald, for everybody on staff, for the players, their story. And so being able to achieve that and win it alongside all those people was really something special. And then it brings into focus what you want to achieve here because there's so many great people here as well.
So you probably went to smelling the roses of winning the Super Bowl for 36 hours? Because, it's like, this is great. Yeah. Hey, cheers here, wife, kids. Yeah. Oh, geez, the Combine's in a couple of weeks. I got to start focusing on that, right?
Well, yeah, and you touched on it. I guess that was the other special part about of winning it was that my wife and kids were there. We didn't have kids during the first one, so experiencing that with my two older boys, they were at the game, and then so we win the Super Bowl, we go to the parade, and the next day we start meetings, Combine, free agency, draft, and then Minnesota Vikings. So I haven't had a lot of time to really think about it. So
how excited are your kids to get to Mall of America?
They're ecstatic. We were showing them videos of the roller coasters and everything. They can't wait to get out here.
That's so
everybody's
sweet.
Really excited.
What do you think of our quarterbacks room? What do you think of your quarterbacks room? Kyler Murray, J.J. McCarthy, Carson Wentz, Max Brosmer.
I think it's deep. It's competitive. There's an element of there's a lot of talent in there. There's football experience. There's upside. And that applies to everybody because of the developers that we have at that position. So iron sharpens iron. May the best man win. They're gonna compete hard. They're gonna be developed at a really high level because of Coach O'Connell and the offensive football staff.
Hopefully we have a chat like during training camp or closer to the season because then you will have absorbed so much at that time. But coming from the NFC West, you've seen Kyler Murray a fair amount. He's into his 8th season, former Rookie of the Year. What untapped potential do you think is there with Kyler, now with Justin and Jordan Addison? You got a nice tight ends room, got Darisaw and so on. Untapped potential with him. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, the physical talent is there. He can make all the throws. He can create off schedule. And this is not a slight to anybody, but this offensive staff and Coach O'Connell, that's the untapped potential. He's gonna realize I think another level of development.
Lastly, you mentioned winning the Super Bowl, then had to go to the Combine. I do radio shows every year at the Scouting Combine. And Leslie Frazier is one of my all-time favorite people with the Minnesota Vikings while having the privilege of calling their games on the radio. Well, how well did you get to know Leslie, Mike McDonald's right-hand man?
Really well.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
I think you already touched on it. He's a great man, first of all. And then there's this element of wisdom. When Coach Frazier talks, you listen. And if you listen, you're going to learn something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, congratulations on the job.
Thank you.
I look forward to meeting your family, maybe on a road trip or something.
Can't wait.
God bless you and your family, man. And
God bless you. Thank you.
Job well done.
Appreciate it.
That's Nolan Teasley, new general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. Nice enough to join 9 to noon. Appreciate you, man. And Sam Newton, Sarah Joram, Jeff Anderson, everybody else. John Ekstrom, thanks for the help with Joe Rush and Justin Jefferson. Likewise for new general manager Nolan Teasley. Thank you, Brett Blakemore. Thank you, Eric Nordquist. And I'm Paul Allen. Thank you for listening to the 9 to Noon radio show from Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center on FM 100.3 KFAN. May God bless you and your families. And the program is around the corner. Have a great day. Bye.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
From the 1-800